Hello, friends. The 995th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Yesterday, the Russians suddenly broke into the city of Kupiansk, the Ukrainian military telegram channel Deep State and Russian military telegram channels reported. According to Deep State, on Wednesday afternoon, 2 columns of Russian equipment moved from the Liman-Pershi area to Kupiansk and managed to enter the city and land troops, which dispersed among the houses near Svatovska Street. They flew into Kupiansk in ceremonial mode. Deep State describes the situation. The telegram channel writes that they managed to destroy some of the troops and knock out some of the equipment. Judging by the map, the fighting is taking place in the Zyaskilia area on the left bank of the Oskil River. Deep State notes that the breakthrough of Russian troops into Kupiansk became possible because, in recent months, the line of contact has become a mystery for all units. The battle formations of the armed forces of Ukraine and the enemy are simply scattered throughout the forest. Rotations were carried out on both sides, and the war in the forest looked strange, wrote Deep State. Russian military telegram channels simultaneously claimed that Russian assault groups were able to break through and gain a foothold in Kupiansk and publish maps of their advance. At the same time, the Ukrainian General Staff today stated that there are no longer any Russians in Kupiansk. Yesterday, Ukrainian soldiers stopped the enemy's advance on Kupiansk, destroyed all of its armored vehicles, and eliminated a significant portion of its manpower. Kupiansk is completely under the control of the defense forces of Ukraine, the General Staff stated. The head of the Kupiansk administration states that the Russian landing force that suddenly burst into the city has already been destroyed. Destroyed, Andriy Besedin stated briefly. According to him, the Russians were unable to gain a foothold and the situation in the city is under control. At the same time, Russian telegram channels continue to claim that their troops are holding positions in Kupiansk and took several more strongholds of the Ukrainian armed forces. Ukraine has not confirmed this. But, be that as it may, this situation has shown that the defense of the eastern part of Kupiansk looks quite shaky. In addition to Kupiansk, the enemy also advanced in Kolesnikivka yesterday. This settlement is almost captured, since according to maps, it is either in the gray zone or under Russian control. Today, there are reports that the Russians have entered the northern outskirts of the village of Kupiansk, 11 kilometers east of Borova. The situation near Kurakhove continues to develop threateningly. Earlier, military observer of the German newspaper Bild, Julian Rurk, said that the Russian army broke through the last line of defense to the east of Kurakhove and advanced more than 1,200 meters into the city. According to him, Moscow now controls about 15% of the territory of Kurakhove. The journalist's information was confirmed by Deep State. According to its data, the Russian army in Kurakhove reached school number 3 and is concentrating troops there, bringing in personnel on armored vehicles. The goal of such actions is to consolidate and force the defense forces to retreat behind the Dovga Gully, which cuts through the eastern part of the city, the report says. To the north of Kurakhove, the Ukrainian armed forces lost the village of Vremivka on the path of Russia's movement towards the key village of Stary Turny. This was reported by the Deep State telegram channel, and earlier Russian telegram channels reported this. However, the General Staff later denied this. The settlement of Vremivka in the Donetsk region is under Ukrainian control. In its vicinity, fighting with the enemy continues constantly, but our units are holding their positions firmly, the department said in a statement. At the same time, to the south of Kurakhove, the Russians have made significant advances in the Dalny area and from Maximivka, creating a threat of encirclement of the pocket along the Sahiyali River. There are less than 6 kilometers left before the cauldron appears there. Earlier, the Ukrainian military called on the command to give the order to withdraw from this pocket. In the Vremivka direction near Velika Novosilka, the Russians are now actively attacking with trained groups of assault aircraft, said Voloshin, spokesman for the Southern Defense Forces. The enemy is coming in several waves, but these are no longer the so-called meat assaults. The enemy has been preparing these assault groups at training grounds for several months. At first, the enemy used armored vehicles in these assaults to support its infantry. Now this same equipment is used to bring assault groups as close as possible to our positions. Then the infantry is parachuted and tries to consolidate, wedge into our defense, capture one or two first trenches there, after which the consolidation groups come. Therefore, the enemy took these assaults more seriously, more prepared, Voloshin said. Let me remind you that Russian troops have recently become more active in the area of Velika Novosilka and have advanced west and south of Vremivka. The Russian Ministry of Defense also announced the capture of neighboring Rivnopil. According to the deep state map, it has been captured almost completely. A Ukrainian fighter with the call sign Muchnoi confirms the loss of Rivnopil. In his opinion, by moving north, the Russians want to cut off the bypass road that leads from the west to Velika Novosilka. There are just over 3 kilometers left from the front line to this road. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.